Everybody, good evening. I just decided to stop here very briefly and just have this conversation. I think it's proper to do this sometimes. Alright, so my conversation is simple. As people join, help yourself with some sense, because a lot of people need to hear this. Let me be frank with you. I hear a lot of married people talk to me. And in all the conversation married people talk to me about, there's one common admission that runs through many of them. Very common admission. You know, a lot of married people admit to you that they saw signs that all wasn't well. A lot of married people also admit to you that in certain circumstances they could have pulled back. But you know, a lot of times out of fear, out of factors that I do not believe should dictate to people who they should be with. Like family already knows, we have been together 5 years, alright, or he would change, she would adjust. People go on with people they should never have been with. And now that's a lot of crisis, because what happens is, in such circumstances, they take the marriage step, which is a step too far in error. Alright, let me quickly say this, and I'm going to say this with every sense of responsibility. Alright, it's not a personal attack like my generation says. When something really hits at them, they say, I feel personally attacked. It's not a personal attack, it's just the honest truth. What you choose, you will experience. Now, I need that to ring in your mind for as long can be. What you choose, you will experience. See, you are not going to escape your own choice. I'm going to say a few things about choosing shortly before I'm done with this very short video. But what you choose, you will experience. See, pay attention, yeah? Don't run away from when married people give difficult experiences. Don't let it dominate your mind and make you discouraged, but learn from the principles that got a lot of married people in trouble. And I'm going to highlight a few. A lot of married people went on in spite of the red flags, or went on in spite of the problems they saw. Now, if you are going on in spite of what you see, then be ready to suffer for it. You know, it's so difficult to say the things I'm saying, because we are here to bring succor to people. All right, we are here to bring encouragement to people. But in the middle of encouragement is a type of warning. I must warn you as single people. If I don't warn you, then I don't love you. All right, it's so important I send warning to you. So do not just marry a person because you feel butterflies for them. Do not just marry a person because you love them. Do not just marry a person because they even love you. All right, they must go beyond the feelings. They must go beyond all of that. They must go to the realm and the level of commitment. See, a lot of people take vow at the altar that is not reflected in the character that walk down the altar with them. So it's not about wearing gown, wearing suit, having people gather. It's first of all, if your conduct and character on a daily basis does not reveal the content of the vow we will take, then there's no point walking to the vow. Now, let me give you this formula as single people, that your character in the dating and the courtship process must reveal the vow we will take, so that the vow is an affirmation of the character of the person. All right, but see what people do. A lot of people walk down the aisle with a person that they are still hoping will change. A lot of people walk down the aisle with a person who does not look like the vow they are taking. That means the vow was just a joke. The vow was just a joke. All right, so you don't walk down the aisle to go make fun of yourself. You know, your conduct must already reflect what we are saying. You are going to take a vow that will be faithful. Have you been faithful in the relationship? You are going to take a vow to be together till death do you part. Has their conduct in the dating and the courtship shown any sign that they have stickability, that they have the capacity to stand with you? All right, somebody is about to take vow with you for better, for worse. What has the relationship shown you? Yeah, that's the vow. But do they look more likely like people who put you through worse, or people who put you to the better? So it's so important that as a single person, you sit down and have factual conversations with yourself. I know we're in September. October, November, December will soon clock, and people are getting agitated. Lord, I wanted to be married this year. I pray for people. I hope for people. I've seen people get married miraculously or get connected miraculously and moved on. See, that's all good. That's all absolutely good. See, never elevate getting married to the point where you lose your senses. Because for a lot of people, it's so elevated that they have lost their capacity to think. All right? You can't lose your capacity to think when it comes to marriage. Because what you choose, you will experience. Let's be frank about it. We can't pretend over these things. This is so real. So it's so important to be factual. In fact, not just factual, you need to be brutally factual with yourself. A lot of single people are not thinking. They are just dominated with, I want to get married. I want to get married. I want to get married. Let me give you a quick statistics, or let me give you a quick analogy. I want people to get married. I love people getting married. But I have a problem, a very big problem, and I must address it. I've seen people get married and get in trouble. So why get married in the first place? All right? So that's not the aim. So I want to be as happy as I am on the day you got married and be that happy or happier 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 10 years, 15 years down the line. That means getting married is not enough. Getting married is not enough. That means there must be a higher standard and target. All right? And this standard and target is not hidden. This standard and target is in conduct you can see. Let me tell you something. It's okay to break relationships. Just in case you didn't hear, let me repeat it. It's okay to break relationships for the right reasons. In fact, it's okay to break it crying. Sorry, I will miss you, but I'm going. All right? Why? You cannot be emotional about destiny decisions. Don't be emotional about it. Don't be emotional about destiny decisions. Yes, you have emotion for the person you're choosing, but you cannot be emotional about your destiny. Why? Emotions will soon fade. Emotions will soon go to bed. All right? Ask any married person. I've been for 9 years, going 10 in December. But ask anybody, those who have been married 20 years, 30 years, 40 years. I have great emotions for my wife, but emotions don't sustain marriage. You know what sustains marriage? The character that is formed. All right? The capacity that holds on. The capacity that demonstrates what you need. What do you need? You need sustainability. You need loyalty. You need faithfulness. You need stickability. You need communication. You need a friend. All right? All of these factors are more important. You need somebody to whom you are more important than money. This is why a lot of married people run around and are scared, afraid, running for counseling. Ocholi, I saw all these things, but I ignored them. I thought he would change. I thought this would happen. See, let me tell you, single people need to tell themselves the truth. Because single people who miss it are married people who are frustrated. I'm going to repeat that. Single people who miss it are the married people who are frustrated. The failure did not begin in the marriage. The failure began because somebody chose not to think. Somebody elevated and marrying this year above thinking. Somebody elevated, oh, we have been together 5 years, above thinking. Somebody elevated, people already know us together, above thinking. At every stage before you take the vow, the person is under test. I want to repeat that. At every stage before you take the vow, the person remains firmly under test. In fact, everything you call relationship is exam hall. I need you to get that. Everything you call relationship is exam hall. The person is effectively, it's like somebody who entered JAM. Before you come out, or WAEC. Before you come, you must be done with the exam before you come out. And when you come out, they'll give you a result. See, the vow should be a result of the test taken. So if you are taking vow with a person who you should not have taken vow with, is because you passed a candidate who should have failed. So let me quickly say this. It doesn't matter that we got into a courtship. It is that you got into the exam center. Alright? So don't treat courtship like, yes, that means we are getting married. It's okay, oh. It's okay. It's the person I courted I married. I confess to you. But why? Because in my assessment, the person passed the test. In her assessment, I passed the test. And let me tell you this. I'm going to repeat this. I said it at the beginning. Whoever you marry is the experience you choose. Just in case you didn't get it, I'm going to repeat it. Whoever you marry is the experience you choose. All right? So it's so important. It's so important to ask yourself, is this the experience I want to live with? Is this a summary of what I want to live with? And that's why people take vows today like mere suggestion. People take vows today like something they just said and could discard. No, no, no. The vow is a covenant that holds you up to a minimum standard. So if their conduct does not suggest the vow, I even say to single people, just in case you don't understand the big English I'm speaking, go to your church, ask somebody else who has been married or ask the marriage committee, can I get a copy of the vow that people take in this church? Go and sit down and weigh your life and their life against that vow you will take. If both of you do not have enough evidence in your character to support that vow, don't walk down the aisle. I'm telling you. You may wonder what brought this guy out this night on advertised program, on he just came here this night, just boasting us. No, calm down. I am tired of speaking. Not tired that I will not continue to cancel. Just English. Okay, I'm pained at the number of married people coming for counseling for what they saw coming. How did you see fire and jump in it? Speak to your married friends that are honest. They're experiencing what they saw coming. Because sometimes people begin to, try to damage the image of marriage, make it look like it's specially hard. My brother, my sister, we all chose the kind of hardness we're inside. You want me to repeat that? We all chose the kind of hardness we find ourselves inside. We all had the opportunity to choose it. Everything we close our eyes to, we have opened it now. We can see. Everything we're blind to, a miracle of opening eye has happened. Everything we pretended was not there, right now, pretense cannot cut it. In fact, we live with it. Alright? So it's so important. Are you single this night? I don't even know who I came to give deliverance this night. Alright? If the relationship is not worth it, the marriage will not be worth it. See, let me quickly say this. Courtship is the evidence of marriage hoped for. The evidence of marriage hoped for. So the courtship must reveal. See, you're in courtship, you're not fulfilled. Sorry. Marriage will not just be not fulfilling, it will take away your fulfillment. What are you doing together? Alright? Press. That's the only thing. You just see yourself is pressing. No. What do you discuss? Where's your joint purpose? Where are you headed to? Have you talked about money? Have you talked about faithfulness? Have you talked about purpose? Have you talked about plan? What are you going to be doing together in the next 5 years? I'm not talking 15 or 20, 30 or 40. I'm talking 5 years. Because a lot of people are in courtship, they're already tired of each other. They don't even know what they are doing together. Let me even ask you as a single person, after your first few nights, perhaps first few weeks, or perhaps first few months, and you have sex, you this, you that, legal sex, because some people, they are just having the illegal one, waiting for the opportunity to have the legal one. Alright, and you have all the legal something, and you are done. What next? That's a big question you must answer. After all this, what next? See, anybody with whom you are not coming to the point where you are able to synchronize a purposeful life is already dangerous to you. That's why a lot of people get married and begin to hide in job. Because you are wondering what you are going home to do with that woman called wife. It becomes a trap. It becomes a prison. Or you are wondering like, what am I going home to do with that guy? Alright? So you see people running in circles, trying to stay on the job, trying to remain at work, trying to throw themselves in their business, trying to find any journey. In fact, people are hustling for travel on their job just because they cannot cope with the person who is in their life. That's a problem. And how do you avoid this? You need to begin to test it in the relationship itself. This is what single people must do. Be so practical in the relationship. If you are doing business, the person is doing business, or the person is doing ministry. How do we find each other in each other's life? Where do we find each other? Are you able to make any conversation that touches on their business? Are you able to make any conversation that touches on their purpose? Are you able to synchronize life? Very simple conversations. Some people have been dating 5 years. They have not read one book together. One book. If you cannot do fasting by yourself, I can even see my NHN. Can't you go and join war room people? Let them encourage you with their own fasting. Just join their fasting. What are the purposeful things you are achieving together? Some people want to marry a man that their voice will have a say in marriage. But inside the relationship, you have never successfully gotten him to do anything. Can we read a book? No. Can we attend that program? No. Can we do this? No. Everything? No. And you want to get yes in marriage? It's not possible. So a lot of us are so pretentious. In fact, we are just wedding gown addicted. We can't wait for that day. We can't wait to gather people. We can't wait for reception. Oh, I can't wait to be Mrs. Mrs. onto what? Married man onto what? What exactly are you doing? See, there are too many frustrated marriages because they don't know what they are doing. And I'm not saying the person must jump into your business. It is, where do you find each other in each other? You are dating somebody, no support for all that you want to do with your life. And you are sitting there saying, God will work on it. God is not a carpenter. Jesus finished his carpentry job. He realized he went into ministry. So it's so important. See, you are doing, what is that person able to do in your life? God did not bring Eve to Adam for knacking only. Because sometimes people you just wonder, like, this girl you are marrying, does she have any value other than sex? Or cooking for you? Or burning see, woman is not a baby minting machine. That's why a lot of people, by the time their children outgrow being in the house, they are frustrated because they have no use for each other. I brought you in to give birth to children. So you need to ask yourself, where do we factor each other in each other's destiny? It's so important. All right. So if you are single, in fact, because this is very focused on the single tonight, it's so important to come to the place where you can find purpose for the relationship before you demand purpose in the marriage. Marriage is extremely frustrating if you are forcing your way in with the person with whom you have no life. And I'm going to mention some very contemporary points. Let me start with advising the ladies. Some men can never, based on current evidence, let me know the word never, will not, right, live a purposeful life with you. Right now, they are not even shaking in God. They are not even standing at all. In fact, they are not even sitting. God has become one other thing. I don't want to call names of people now who want to bring down the entire church in Nigeria and abroad. But they are more convinced by the people who see only problem in the church than following Jesus Christ. There's a problem with that picture. So you are following somebody who is suddenly an activist against everything Christ. It's a problem. Where's their faith? So we have a lot of sisters marrying men who can never lead them spiritually, or who will not lead them spiritually except in 11th hour miracle happen. So what are you doing there? Then you now get married. You're not running for counseling, going for prayer meetings, going for no, calm down. You chose it. You chose it with your two eyes clear. So the entire investment God has done in your life, you want to submit it to prayer points. Let's be frank. See, like I said the other time, there are people who are well-built fools. My contemporary men, gym they get, money they get, looks they get. But a fool says in his heart there's no God. You need to be sure and certain of their faith. Their radar should be hot. I'm not saying go and judge the way he speaks his tongue. He should be basically so sold out to God. Because some people right now, they are Christians, but they argue everything. They are arguing all the nonsense in the world, ready to permit all the nonsense in the world. My sister, save yourself. You can't hold him up to a standard that he did not live in. Let me give you another standard you cannot play with. Any man who does not have a definitive pastor over his life is scam. See, we are so stubborn. We need a definite voice over our life that God uses to bring us to correction. Tell me you have the Holy Spirit, my brother, my sisters. Holy Spirit has always been there before he gave us the church and said we should not forsake the gathering. Why? If, for instance, I come to a shaky point, somebody in authority over me should be able to call me to order. Some people have nobody. They don't listen to anybody. Message, they don't listen. They go to church when they want to go to church. Let me tell you something. Nobody is going to be able to treat you better than they treat God. My sister, you need to hear this one, especially us men that are hard like this. No man will treat you better than he treats God. So you need to watch his relationship with God. I'm not talking a pattern of tongue, because some people, they have tongue, no character. It's not then we are talking about. It's what is your practical approach to God? What is your disposition to God? What is your reaction to God? How do you position with Jehovah? Very important. Number 2, what is their money posture? What is their money posture? I'm talking to ladies particularly now. What is his money posture? Some people, when they don't have money, money has them. Because they know where they have to sell even you for money, they'll sell you. Quick. They won't even delay. What's their money posture? Are they mammonized? You know what mammon is here? Mammon is anything you give attention to above God for the sake of money. Finish. Anything you give attention to above God for the sake of money is mammon. So it's so important, absolutely important, to realize that they have control of money. And I'm going to give you some parameters. Do they regard God in their money? How do you know if a person regards God in his money? Does his money do anything for kingdom? Apart from his personal needs now, family, if he has parents, he caters for, family is responsible for. Does his money do anything at all towards Jehovah? At all. I don't even want to get into argument of people that are choosing to argue what is plain in the Bible, tithe, seed, and all of that. Don't worry, we are making men of God rich. It's our money, it's not your money, okay? Since it's working for us, allow us. But is he arguing? Because some people now, you are dating a man, he argues everything that touches God. Same person that will carry money and put in causes that are not worthy. But because the thing has taught church, let me tell you, we run ministry, for instance. Up until this year, that Corona has reduced programs. All those programs you see us do. Have I ever come here to manipulate anybody for money? There's no year in the last 3 years before this that we did not spend in excess of 10 million to organize free programs. We'll go to Lagos, go to Abuja, go to Kaduna, go to this, or 10M. God will supply. See, ministry takes money. Alright? But here's the deal. So, people like that don't even know. This is ministry that is just off take out. We're just starting. I mean, we have plenty money to spend. Plenty. Real money. Like right now, we are trying to make sure we have a budget to see what it takes to get the equipment we need to make sure we can reach anywhere in the world from here. So you are dating a man. Did I ask you to give money? Have I put account number? No, I'm just giving explanation. You're not dating a man that the entire response he has to the whole body of Christ. Let me tell you something. No matter who is manipulating who, there's a right place to give. A worthy man will not focus on running down the entire church on top of giving matter. In his discerning spirit, he will know where to put his money. So be careful of that kind of man. Why? Like I said earlier, no man is going to treat you better than he treats God. So the moment he begins to talk about money like that, he doesn't understand kingdom. In money posture, apart from what does he give to the kingdom, you need to see how far he is ready to go under financial pressure. Financial pressure has led many men. You know, the Bible says, he that fails in the day of adversity, his strength is small. So you need to check his reaction to financial pressure. For instance, I love 2020. You know, 2020 led to a serious separation of wheat from chaff. 2020, how did people react when the pressure came? That's where you see their Christianity, especially their financial posture. You know why? See, life is going to happen so many times, not because we are cursed, but because we are overcomers. Every time you hear the word overcomer, it means there was a challenge. So look at him critically. What is his financial posture to pressure? What does he go into? Drinking? Hanging out with friends? Trying to see if he can join a cult? Or taking loans carelessly and recklessly? You need to ask yourself these questions. Alright? And let me flip it very quickly. Financial posture. Some ladies, laziness is learning job with them. They feel that men are their entire source. Let me tell you, you see my wife, I'm not even a source, God is. It is me that need to take responsibility as a man and say I need to provide for my household. But the day she starts seeing me as source, I'm fallible. I can fail. In fact, the more she looks up to God, the better God blesses me. Because God recognizes that this woman does not take me as her source. But if he blesses me, the blessing will touch her. Apart from the one that comes through her. Because we have two channels in this family. It comes through her, it comes through me. Alright? Some ladies, you think that man is poverty alleviation. It's not true. That's why you are lowering your standard, because you are now waiting for the highest bidder. You are not waiting for a man who shares destiny with you. You are waiting for highest bidder. You are waiting the one that came with Mercedes and the one that came with motor car. That's a problem. That means your financial posture is also wrong. And that is crisis. And go and ask, people who took the standards low because they were for the highest bidder, they are suffering in marriage. Why? Any man who can afford you can dispose you. Ladies, I need you to hear that one. Any man who can afford you can dispose of you. I repeat, any man who can afford you, he can't even afford you. If a man needs to look up to God to even have you. So it's so important to also check your financial posture. Where is your heart when it comes to money? You are not a chattel. You are not a piece of property for the highest bidder. This is why you can choose a man who seem. I'm not saying you took oath of poverty. That's why you can choose a man who seem like he doesn't have like the one you rejected. But because the one you chose is destiny. You are not choosing money, you are choosing a partner. Let me tell you this. With a partner, you can go to any height. But when you choose money, the height is out of the equation. It's so important. So, see, don't come to a point where if a man doesn't smile, you are stranded. That means you are in trouble. You are in trouble because he's not God. So the posture of your heart must be a posture of faith, first in God. So that you say, Lord, I'm choosing this man not as an economic gain. I'm choosing this man, number one, I love him. Number two, we are compatible. Number three, the posture of his heart is given to you. Number four, the posture of his heart regarding finances regards you above money, regards me above money. Number four, the posture of my own heart is that I have a help to render to this man. I have a destiny to fulfill with him. When you put these things together, you now have two worthy persons. Alright? You now go into the other criteria I've been mentioning, which I will repeat. A person is not ready to replace the most important relationships in his life with you. And I'm going to prove that from scripture. The first thing the Bible talks about is, for this cause shall a man leave his father and mother. Wow. The most important relationship in his destiny. God asked him, give it up for this relationship. So, the posture of both of you must be the kind that is ready to leave the most important relationships in your lives to come together and make two of you the chosen. And like I said in one of my recent communication or videos, being chosen is not being one amongst many. For instance, Julia is not my first wife. Julia is my only wife. Alright? It's to the exclusion of others. It is not putting this one at home, they're managing others. Alright? Because sometimes people are physically with only one, but emotionally with 15. No, it is to the exclusion. Will the temptation come or not? It will come. But what would you do to it? You handle it. So you need to see their posture towards choosing. Because a lot of people that people are with have not chosen them. Oh. I'm telling you. And the posture is demonstrated in the conduct. How are they excluding others now that you have not married? Because a person who is not excluding others